Phoenix Down Radio is on the air.
Welcome, everybody, to Phoenix Down Radio, episode number 155. I'm your host, Klauss Nightbringer. Joining me, as usual, we have Seyrr and Taliz Marvelous. What's going on, guys?
Everything and nothing, as always.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. It is definitely so busy, yet it seems like nothing is being accomplished.
I've heard a thing about how time is the universe's way of keeping everything from happening all at once, and we seem to be doing our damnedest to subvert that.
It's far too philosophical for my tired ass, I'm gonna be real.
How about this? I'll drink to that.
Butts.
Not that.
Thank you, Louise. I appreciate your addition to the conversation.
So how have you guys been over the past 2 weeks?
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I've done a bunch of crazy stuff and also managed to find spare time to fill up the rest of my life with busy things so that way I never have time to worry about being bored or sad.
I had to actually use Google Calendar to keep track of all of the things I had to do. It was weird. Not bad, but weird. And I was on Maelstrom Radio last night.
Cool.
How did it go?
Yeah, Anonymous and I mostly spent about an hour shitposting random stuff and answering lore questions. Fun fact, did you know that Fan Daniel's a libertarian?
You can't make that up, folks? Question mark. But he did.
I need you to stop. Just saying. God.
Oh,
all right.
I live for these kinds of reactions.
So now we know Seyrr is muted for the rest of the episode. Taliz.
Probably for the best.
No, I'm kidding. What else you guys been up to?
We actually had a friend come up for the weekend last weekend. She rolled up on Friday, and Pyrocats made stir fry. I made chili. Friend in question, remaining anonymous because I didn't ask if I could talk about who she was, made waffles on Sunday. We watched all of 10 episodes that have been out so far of Fena Pirate Princess. We talked about manga. We talked about a trip to Japan. We talked about all kinds of stuff, and she was here for 3 days and had an absolute blast. Immediately decided that she was going to be coming back, to the point of which her face wash, a foaming cleanser, and a pair of her socks is still at Pyrocats' house. So she just lives here now. She doesn't know it yet, but that's happening. Remember how 2 weeks ago I said I was going to watch the Final Fantasy Unlimited anime?
Oh.
6 episodes before I started looking at bridges and surface tension of water and impact of a human being. Oh my god, that show is terrible, and I forgot how bad it was.
Yeah.
6 episodes is all I got through.
It's not
Christ.
that bad.
It's very bad. We have passed around a manual butter churner across all of our friends because we enjoy crafting in real life more than we enjoy crafting in Eorzea. So I now get to find food grade mechanical oil and clean the gearing of a manual butter churner so that we can make our own butter. And those waffles I mentioned, we made our own butter last weekend, and we used the buttermilk as the milk in the waffles.
Ooh.
Oh, because buttermilk is kind of like the leftover liquid from when you make butter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct. We didn't have quite enough, so we did spike it with some whole milk, but it definitely changed the recipe by quite a bit, and it was freaking awesome.
I bet.
Yeah. There's so much stuff that if you can make it and use it fresh, that makes such a huge difference.
Yeah, I would bet even adding a little bit of whey or something like that as part of the liquid would be really interesting flavor-wise.
We thought about doing that as well, but yeah, we have a few things, and then we also have we use the butter specifically to for the actual waffles themselves. And for point of reference, for anybody who's never seen a manual churner, and this is why you need to tune in live and watch us at twitch.tv/PhoenixDownRadio every other Saturday night.
Nice plug.
We actually have on camera the actual butter churner in question.
Ooh, spin, spin, spin.
Yep. So for anybody that likes mechanical engineering, it's pretty easy to figure out how it works, but it does make really good butter. This is a smaller one. The other one we have is bigger. That's the one I'm working on. But yeah, this is super fun. So we've done a lot in the last couple weeks.
It absolutely feels like something that you could just have in hand cranking while you're like watching TV or something like that.
And if you have warm cream like you're supposed to, it takes like 20-25 minutes-ish by yourself. If you have cold cream, it takes 4 of your friends an hour and a half, and you just hate it. And not saying that we did that, but Sarah and James were here, and we were just like taking turns, and it was fucking stupid.
And you kind of did that.
Don't do that.
Can you
Warm
make, like,
cream.
goat milk butter?
Sarah, you can't say shit like that to me in the show. That's the stuff you save for the post show. Because
Okay.
now I'm going to be thinking about that for the rest of the episode.
Yes.
Well, I didn't make butter, but I got a Switch.
Yay.
Oh shit! Sweet.
Yeah, I finally got my OLED edition Switch, and then ended up spending a small fortune on accessories and games. So great.
Yep.
That's about right.
And all I got was Mario Odyssey with a Pro controller. I ended up
Pro
going.
controller's worth it.
Yeah, I've heard many people say you've got to get a Pro controller, especially if you're not used to the crunchy little tiny little Joy-Cons in that little holder they've got. I had to get Mario Kart, had to get Smash, of course, had to get Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
And I also got Ring Fit Adventure.
I've heard that's quite good.
It's
Actually, that'd look really good.
it kicks your ass, is what it does. I mean,
Oh yeah.
a 42-year-old guy, playing with this ring. I mean, why is everything always got to get hooked up on it? you squeeze it and you pull it and and you're running in place. It is a workout.
I remember when the Wii balance boards, I started, I restarted at Nintendo after I was in consumer service. I went back to game testing right after Wii Fit had just finished testing. And there was a lot of people that were like crazy into running and yoga. And I'm like, what happened to the ponytailed nerds that only owned khaki pants and blue collared shirts for interviews? Like, what is happening? It's like, oh, no. They all worked on Wii Fit. And I'm like, oh, God. And it's just like, yeah, that's Dale. And I'm like, Dale was a 280-pound dude that mainlined taquitos, like 6 of them for breakfast. And it's like, yeah, Dale can kill you now. Like, he's just like absolutely ripped and like jogs during lunch.
But I mean, that's crazy that they went through, they went that in depth to, or continue to do it after developing the game. So that's
6
awesome.
I mean, if you're having fun with it. Now,
6
Klauss,
months.
you do, of course, need the single most important accessory, the little sticker that you can put on the little thing that the Joy-Cons go on to make it look even more like a derpy dog. Link is in the chat for everyone.
God damn it. Where did you get your OLED, by the way? Because like my Best Buy is out of them.
I had pre-ordered it long ago from GameStop.
Okay, that'll do it. I've heard the OLED is definitely a lot better. The screen is an upgrade, and I believe they actually changed the video RAM as well.
Oh, and Nick Nar is pointing out that your collection is a pale shadow of what it should be without Hello Kitty cruisers with Sanrio friends. Get on that, Klauss.
No.
I have Klauss's address. We're going to make this happen, y'all.
But,
So
I mean,
we might need to get him to play it Clockwork Orange style. I'll start stocking up on eye drops.
what have I gotten myself into?
I don't know, but Sarah, you have to drink the milk because my tummy would hurt.
I can do that.
Aside from
Get the
that,
bowler hat, though.
I ended up picking up a new laptop as well. I
Oh,
decided
shit. Awesome.
that I wanted something with a little bit more screen real estate and 3080.
The 3080 is a big part of it. Yeah. I upgraded to a 16-inch laptop off a 13. I'm like, my God, I didn't think it was going to be this much better.
I mean, for me, the biggest part of it is not, it's not just going from a 15 to a 17-inch screen, but it's going from a 1080p screen to a 1440 screen. I mean, that's a big difference. I mean, it's not 4K, which 4K on a small screen is actually kind of tough. I mean,
it doesn't work right.
Apple gets by with it. They do a decent job with their Retina displays and things like that. But, you know, for me, like I said, it's just a nice middle ground, the 1440, you know, based on real estate size, that you can still read text normally without having to, you know, do the zoom option within the operating system to make everything bigger. Yet still be able to, you know, make games just look amazing.
I've got the Retinas on the last 2 MacBook Pros I've had, and the initial sticker shock is like, God, am I really gonna care? And then after using, you know, ghettoer laptops for setups and network designing and like borrowing a Chromebook for a week, I was like, no, I do care.
Yes.
I actually do. Like $400 for a single piece of hardware that I'm gonna use for 5 or 6 years. Heck yeah, that's absolutely worth the upgrade.
Well, this was quite an upgrade from my last laptop that I actually just bought last year, but I was able to sell it to a friend, and I, you know, sold it for a discount because, well, friends, you know, got help out friends, but so I
friends,
kind of,
and also you didn't need the hardware, so
yeah. So at that point, you know, like I said, it's just nice to have something that I can, you know, game with very well with a 3080 on that. I did run the Endwalker benchmark, and I got over 16,000 with it.
Nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
Like, it's not spectacular, and you don't have like the best score. Dude, it's a laptop. That's a lot.
Yeah,
well,
if you can pull that off on a laptop, you're doing fine.
That's 1440p max settings. In comparison, my desktop with a 3090 got 22,000. So I mean, it's actually quite a ways up there.
That's perfectly fine.
So
that's perfectly fine.
I think my laptop, the prior laptop, got a 11,000 or 10,000. So it's a significant jump.
I was gonna say at 10,000, you're like, you can play. You probably shouldn't raid, and you're definitely going to use the system to level your crafting.
No, that's actually 10,000 is you can, if you can run that on max settings. Yeah, you're good.
Oh, okay. On max settings, yeah.
Yeah.
I just play on PS4, so I'm like,
not max.
I play on PS4. It runs. That's all I got.
Yeah. Hopefully, it continues running for a few years yet, you know, and doesn't get phased out quite yet.
I feel like it's going to be, I mean, obviously they didn't announce to drop it for Endwalker like they had dropped PS3 for, what was it, Stormblood?
I think so.
But the big...
at least part of that is just the supply issues. Like, I saw a couple folks in the chat mentioning about how they were just finally able to lay their hands on a PS5.
And
as soon as I have one, yeah, my PS4 is probably moving to someone's house as a Netflix box, honestly.
Yeah. But no, like, for the library, we're doing reopening for the teen area, and we were trying to fill in some of the gaps in our video game collection, and getting hardware is just so much harder now. Even, like, more basic stuff, just some Joy-Cons ended up being slightly more involved than we expected.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest reason...
Global supply chain is a mess, man.
Yeah, the big thing with the PS3 support was then they can drop the 32-bit operating systems as well. So
yeah.
Being that the PS4 is a 64-bit, you know, it's not like we're switching architectural hardware differences there. So we should be all right to continue to support that for quite a while. The only thing that might change that is if they end up adding something like DLSS or you know, something more next gen that the PS4s can't do. So we'll see.
The PS5 is on the to-do list, but it's on the to-do list for $299 for a digital copy. If I have to fight and set timers and wake up and chase an Amazon truck, forget it. I'm out. I have no interest in that.
Ugh, no.
So a lot of people are actually opting for the digital one because they're, you know, most of the stuff from last generation or, you know, moving forward, they're buying, you know, digital copies of everything. My big concern with going that route is digital doesn't seem to go on sale nearly as frequently as physical.
And I hate when a game is 3 years old and a digital copy is $60 and a physical one is like $9.
Yeah.
And,
I remember, God, was one of the earlier Disgaea games where poor naive Seyrr kept hoping maybe the DLC will get cheaper someday. I don't want to pay that much just to play Raspberry mode. It's still not cheaper. It will never be cheaper.
but it's still fun to play with new hardware. That's all.
Yeah.
New
I
shininess.
bet you like playing with your hardware. Wait, what?
That's what she said.
There we
Excellent.
go. All right, shall we get on with it then?
I suppose. Let's jump right into some gaming community news. We do have some important announcements regarding the show for the rest of the year. Due to holidays and a number of schedule conflicts, Taliz,
Hey, but they're legit conflicts.
they are
We made
legit
plans.
conflicts. But
Planned on you, Mr. Ponytail lives in my basement software nerd, to stay the same all the time, and then you didn't.
How dare you be innovative and different? What the hell?
anyway, we will be going monthly for the rest of 2021. So the rest of the year schedule looks like this. So we've got the episode tonight on October 16th. Then we'll have one on November 13th. And then December 11th will be the final episode of 2021. And we'll be resuming our BioWiki schedule on January 8th. This gives us all an opportunity to be able to take care of being with family during holidays, because otherwise podcasts would be falling on Christmas, Thanksgiving weekend, Halloween weekend. So figured, it's just nice to be able to get out and be with family and friends.
Didn't you guys do a show on Halloween last year?
Yeah.
That I couldn't be at, that I wanted to be on, and now we're not doing an episode on Halloween weekend?
I mean, Halloween is less of a big deal, but like, I have been stockpiling cornucopia all year. You don't fuck up my Thanksgiving. I put in reservations at a very nice steakhouse. None of us really like turkey.
I don't blame
turkey
you.
tastes like napkins and the Pilgrims for Murderers, so
Yeah.
I'm just not interested.
But like, just as a general thing of like gratitude and togetherness and overindulging on tasty food, like I'm okay with retooling it for that.
I just don't celebrate holidays, so I'm like, cool, it's Thursday. You guys can eat your shitty bird. I'm gonna do stuff though. Like, I don't care.
Now,
I worked Indigenous Peoples Day and I got like time and a half for that, so that was sweet.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with the last, year and a half, 2 years has kind of just taught me that, we should maybe spend a little bit more time with those around us. So I'm just making sure that everybody has the opportunity to do that as much as possible. And for a lot of people, that the best time to do that is the holidays. So we're going to, if you need to, go ahead and be with your family during that time. So
Meanwhile, I'm like, oh, I don't have a podcast? Awesome. I better fill my time with something else so that I don't spend time with my family.
I mean, and that's fair too, and that's part of the reason why we're having to go monthly instead of shifting for off of a week. But yeah, it is what it is, and we'll work with it. That's not to say that we're not going to be doing any streaming during that time frame. We do have Extra Life Game Day coming up on November 6th, and that'll be starting around 8 a.m. or whenever I wake up and feel like hitting the go button. But then we'll be going for 25 hours, because that's also daylight savings time weekend. So all the clocks go back an hour, so we have an extra hour of raising money for kids to go to get the healthcare that they need at different hospitals. Like this year, we are supporting Gillette Children's Hospital here in Minnesota. So
if you're gonna warp the fabric of space-time and cause irreparable harm to history, that's a good cause to do it for. That's how daylight savings time works, right?
Yeah.
No, it's just an annoyance that we're still kind of stuck with. But anyway.
Yeah.
Apparently, Real Hot Chili Pepper says that eating pumpkin is strange.
But delicious.
I mean,
so
it's only delicious because you dump a whole bunch of like spices and sugar into it. The actual pumpkin itself is just kind of it's like
a
any
squash.
other squash or gourd.
The squash. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's always better with brown sugar.
Yeah, like it's weird that it's a sweet dessert thing. That's the bit that's strange.
I mean, so it can be sweet potato pie. You can make almost anything a dessert or sweet, so.
So Chille's mentioning that normally they just hollow it out, throw away the guts, and put a candle inside. Though if you want to be completely authentic, you should use a turnip for that. First jack-o'-lanterns were turnips.
And have you seen jack-o'-lantern turnips? They are nightmare fuel.
Oh my god, I need to see this.
They're bad.
So yeah, make sure.
Oh my god!
See, if anybody else in the chat wants a random non sequitur to go ruin yourselves with, just DM me. I'll send you something. It'll be a good time.
Those are horrifying.
Phoenix Down Radio does not condone Taliz Marvelous giving everybody nightmare fuel.
Does that have teeth?
Yes, it does. Just remember, everybody, Franz Ferdinand's assassination is the reason why we have tentacle hentai. Catch me in the post show.
Oh, good times.
So yeah, and plus there will probably also be streaming some of the Endwalker release weekend. So look forward to that.
I've still got a bunch of Ludo Naricon games that I feel like I should show to someone.
Yeah, and I might try and stream some Switch games.
Someday I'll play Pixel Remaster on this crazy ass concept called Twitch.
I want this to get Pixel Remaster, damn it. Square, get on it. Thank you.
Oh, the Switch?
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
Actually, well, they've been talking about putting it on other platforms if there is enough demand.
Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and hang on a second. Let me grab my time machine box and just reach back into this news article where if there's enough demand, we will put Final Fantasy XIV on the Xbox 360. No, it's not going to happen.
There might not have been enough demand, though.
No, there was. They put 11 on it.
Well, also, there was some really weird rules behind what Microsoft wants, and the fact that they weren't willing to budge, I think, is the biggest reason why it's still not on the green console.
If there is enough demand to overwhelm Microsoft's resistance to stuff, I think would be the...
There's no major... The qualms between Square Enix and Nintendo aren't that big anymore. So
They have a contract, and there's a reason why all they get is the weird shit.
But it would still...
They have a contract.
I mean, some of the other games are on Switch. So I'd like... It's the perfect vehicle for the Pixel remasters.
Like, do we need to have the Seyrr explains why there's no justice in the world talk? Because I can do that.
Maybe in the post show. Maybe in the post show.
So moving into show notes,
we have a lot to talk about. Yes. But yes, go ahead, Taliz. This is actually something that you put in the notes. So.
Oh yeah, there's stuff we put in the notes. So PSA, real quick. A lot of users on Final Fantasy XIV are noticing a huge upturn in having their accounts hacked. Mostly just because if anybody's played MMOs for any amount of time, it's the same reason we have gold sellers. While we don't like gold sellers and RMT and people hacking accounts, those are all bad things. If they exist in your MMO, it's because your MMO is profitable, has a large player base, and has a reason for people to do so. So there's a lot of new players, a lot of WoW refugees, a lot of Black Desert refugees that have all come over to 14 in the last year or so, which means there's a huge influx of new players, a lot of which don't have two-factor authentication turned on yet. So please, 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 from Phoenix down to you, update your passwords, even if you don't think you need to. And if you don't have two-factor authentication, please do it. You don't actually need one of the keychains. There's like 3 different apps that you can get that are Square Enix, and there's a whole bunch of other 2FA stuff as well. So definitely keep your stuff locked down.
Yep, definitely. It's a good idea to do that for most of your online accounts, and most places do allow you to use multi-factor TOTP authentication, whether it's an actual authenticator app or text messaging or a phone call, something like that. Make sure to keep your accounts safe.
And if you don't care and you really think security is silly and you don't believe anything we say and 2FA is a weird thing and it only happens to other people, okay, cool. Would you like a free teleport anywhere in the game? A second one? Set up 2FA, please.
Like that alone.
It's absolutely fucking worth it.
And it's free.
It's free. Also,
with those teleport costs getting unbounded.
Also, if you get the companion app which doesn't really work. Don't bother using it for anything other than the 2FA. However, if you have the companion app registered to your SE account, you also get like some extra storage space. I believe it's on your Chocobo bags or something. So definitely, they're giving you reasons to do it.
And you do get one extra cheaper
Tombstone
teleport too. So
Yeah, you get a lot of stuff that's worthwhile.
but yeah,
Just don't use that tombstone emote while driving the regalia.
totally
Alright.
do
Ooh,
it.
baby.
Do it while you're flying in the whale,
Yeah, they can't see you text and drive there.
or maybe on the cruise chaser,
Cruise Chaser.
and then you can go forward and back, and then forward and back.
Oh my god. Are we really this low that we have to go for that cheap joke every time?
Hi, Seyrr.
Aren't we better than this?
We've been doing this.
Sir. Oh my god!
We've been doing this for 6 years, Seyrr. Do you really have to ask that question?
Let me believe this lie. This lie.
If sure, and then I'll go ahead and sell you the Brooklyn Bridge.
Okay,
Ooh.
Klaus. I was gonna say we can give him this one, but now we have open access for all the other lies.
I feel
Anyway.
like that's not how it works.
But reason why you want to definitely look into securing your accounts. Twitch was recently breached, and 125 gigabytes of data was leaked on the internet. So the fact that
Yep.
it might not be 100% foolproof, but you know what? Most people aren't going to they're going to try a couple of times to get into your account, and then if they can't, they're going to go on to the next one that's easier and unsecured. So
You don't need bulletproof security, you just need to be better than the next guy.
Yep. So I linked an actual news article. Hopefully it works in there. If it doesn't, we'll get it out there to you guys. But
Now, some of this stuff has been going on for ages, even back to I remember FF11. I think there was a point where it started being targeted by what was believed to be organized crime because, hey, here's this thing where you can make money that the police don't even take seriously.
Correct.
But yeah, the big thing is while financial data and other pieces of personal information weren't necessarily leaked, there was a bunch of information pointing to how much a number of the top streamers made, the source code to a number of their apps and platforms, as well as a whole bunch of other data that was available there.
I mean, it's fascinating stuff from a disinterested academic perspective, but
but the fact is even large companies like Microsoft and Amazon and Google are not immune to being infiltrated or compromised.
I mean, you've got people trying constantly. Why wouldn't you be trying if go for the big one? Why not?
Oh, because there's enough people going for the little guys.
Anyways,
we could have an entire podcast
I don't have enough
on network security. Well, that's kind of what I do on a regular basis. So
I was gonna say, Pyrocats is an IT professional. I worked in data security at Nintendo.
Yep,
we
I'm
could
a
have a whole
network
ass
admin.
fucking show.
Yeah, libraries have a perspective on this too. Oh my god, the amount of stuff we do to make sure that people can't follow up too much on your browsing habits.
But I went so far as to change all of our passwords for Phoenix Down Radio and my personal stuff. Turned on 2FA and all that stuff. I made sure that I had to relink everything up because that ended up breaking the connection we had in OBS. But you know what? It's not that hard to retype in a password and then
Secure
hit
your
2FA.
account, bitches.
Yes, please. It is the smart thing to do. So yeah, that's a little bit of a fun, not
From
fun.
us to you.
Yep.
Please fix your shit.
Yep. So some interesting news. Square Enix has a number of large gaming mats available for pre-order.
Yes, these look freaking awesome. They are, let's see. Yeah, large gaming mats. They're 15 by 31s. They're available for pre-order. They've got designs from 1 through 7, the 7 remake, and from 11. One of the original designs that I'm looking at is the FF2.
That's a
and
nice
then they've got
one.
the FF3 that's got the dual swords. They've got all the pixelated characters from FF4. they look so cool,
The
and they're absolutely enormous.
Yeah.
FF5 has that classic Bartz and Boko standing out on a cliff looking over the landscape. Oh,
6 says Terra and a Magitech.
Yep. That one, unfortunately, kind of impresses me a lot less because there's been one of those for FFTCG for like 3 or 4 years at this point.
Yep.
However, the fact that you can now, because a lot of these were already playmats for FFTCG, but my playmat that is the extended size is like 28 inches. A standard playmat for Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic is 24. These are 31 and a half. These things are freaking huge.
Yeah.
So they're very, very cool.
It's what I use. I have my keyboard and mouse set on one.
Yeah, the pictures actually show the mats with a keyboard, mouse, and phone nearby for scale, and it's like, okay, you could you could put a lot of stuff on there and still be able to see most of the design.
I used to wonder why anybody would want a large gaming mouse mat style thing like that, and then until I actually got one, then I understand the fact that your keyboard and mouse aren't moving around all the time, and it makes it's a lot more comfortable for your hands. So.
Easier wrist spacing. I will say this, however, for anybody that does use a notebook or laptop style computer, check where your vents are on your system, because it does not like these, because fabric does love heat. So you will want to keep your laptop off it. But if you have an external like Bluetooth keyboard, very, very, very nice.
I mean, you can set, like, if you've got, like, I use a cooling pad, one of those big fan blowimatrons that you set your laptop on. You can set
I'm looking into one of mine.
on top, on top of the mat, and then have your mouse off to the side, and just have a nice, it just makes the entire area look nice too. Like mine actually has LED piping that goes around the edge. That LED goes around. Well, it used to. It was a cheap one from China, so I have to replace it. Maybe I'll replace it with one of the Final Fantasy ones.
They're $34.99 for North American prices. The EU prices are £33.99. So like, they're not too bad. They're definitely up there, but it's a Square Enix branded product with branded art. Mm-hmm. And my playmat with custom art that was 28 inches was like 60. So
it's a good price.
That 35 is really good.
Yeah, it's a good price. I mean, a lot of the gaming mats from companies like SteelSeries, Corsair, that's what they run, and sometimes more. Yep. So $35, that's an okay price for something like that. Plus, it's SE licensed, and you're supporting your favorite game. So if you're interested in that, take a peek. That's pre-order right now, so you'll be able to get those when they are released. Oh, and there was this thing that happened a couple of weeks ago that an embargo was recently lifted. The Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker Media Tour started. They started releasing information from all the different gaming sites and a whole bunch of new videos on YouTube from all of the influencers and content creators. So we're just going to go through a few of these. We'll send it.
There's so much coverage.
Yep, we'll put a few links into the chat so you can check out some of these at your leisure. They'll also be available in the show notes for those of you listening on the podcast or checking it out on YouTube.
From the conversations I had, lots of stuff with opportunities to look at the new jobs, do lots of theorizing about it. I don't know, at least of who I've talked to, I don't know anyone who is like actually actively upset about theirs. For some people, it's like there wasn't as much exciting stuff as I might have hoped, but even the scholars seem to be satisfied with how things have turned out, and I know they were some of the most worried.
Right.
Also, the media coverage was pretty strongly focused on those job actions. One person mentioned to me that scenes were like they were going through and there was a fate, and even though the text for the fate was in Japanese, it was still required to be scrubbed from the final stuff. So in terms of story things, they are being incredibly close-lipped about it. They don't want any of those details leaking out right now.
Yep, and the things that they did show were definitely not story heavy, or they won't have any spoilers within them. So that way the people who are going to be playing the game once it's released will not be spoiled by anything. So
Yeah, like the dungeon choice apparently owed a lot to that of okay, what's something that we can show off stuff, but that's not going to give away too much about the plot.
Yep. So the first link that was posted was from massivellyop.com. They had an absolute ton of articles.
Credit where credit's due. That was Chille who told me about it. I remember now. He just mentioned in the chat and refreshed my memory. So yes, credit to Chille for that info.
The next two links are actually from Chille at PlayStationUniverse.com or PSU.com. So he had a chance to interview Yoshida, as well as talked about his experience, playing through some of the game. Actually, I guess the dungeon that they chose was the Tower of Zot. So if you want,
given all the FF4 references we were already seeing, and the fact that we had the Magus sisters tied in somehow, not super surprising that that's there. Really cool though. So weird.
But yeah, the fact that they're showing off the new skills and some of the new dungeons without ruining any of our storyline and our immersion is always a good choice and greatly appreciated, because I know most of the people within the Final Fantasy XIV community are very, very we love the story, and we want to make sure that our experience with the game is the same as somebody who just is a fan and is playing it. They don't want to be spoiled by anything. So the fact that they cherry picked the things that they were showing off to make sure that they can show how what the changes are like without spoiling the storyline.
They've talked about it before. More than any other MMO, one of FF14's strengths is its story and its storyline. So that's the thing they want to stay really guarded about.
Chille, you really wore your poop hat during the interview.
Yeah. Husky wears his furry shit during interviews, so whatever, it's fine.
I mean, I will say the questions that Chille asked were very good. Asking if there's going to be a new Eureka / Boja style. Yeah.
I was going to say, read the article that Chille has posted.
He put a lot of work into it.
He did, in fact.
So shout out to Chille. Great job. Hopefully, maybe one of these days we'll be able to do that too. That'd be kind of neat, wouldn't it? Couple other links in there were from our friends over at GamerEscape. Fusion and his team were all, in force with that as well. They had a lot of interesting questions that they asked of Yoshida, as well as talked about their experience on the media tour, which was digital this year. They did not fly people into LA or London or wherever.
They used a really interesting format for that. Where people were able to access it remotely, which I feel like also made it more accessible to a lot of media outlets. It's a really interesting and exciting way to go about that. Yeah,
basically what they end up doing is you remote in and you stream it off of another computer at Square Enix. So you're basically it's cloud gaming. So they were playing Endwalker cloud style.
Yep.
Which is really kind of cool.
Yeah.
I just want to go back to 1988 and be like, hey kid, with your square ass controller and your weird game with the blue haired guy that doesn't actually work, you're never gonna believe what we're doing in 30 years.
Also, you have 13 years to get on this whole 9/11 thing.
Yeah.
There
also,
is
invest in Amazon in 1995. You'll be fine.
There is an excellent college humor sketch about going back to the 90s and getting all the nostalgia. By the way, you have a moral obligation to fix all of these things.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm smacking the pogs out of their hand. And I'm selling Beanie Babies before they crash. It'll be great.
And then
anyway,
these last two that I am linking now come from our friends over at Nova Crystallis. So I mean, there's a lot of really good articles to go check out. Talking
now,
about
for those who have read the 14 articles of just here's the new update for the new thing. Hey, we're cool. It's the same information regurgitated. Just like listening to the podcast is kind of like reading off of the Nova Crystallis article or reading off of GamerEscape. These are not bad. Each article has different stuff in it and has different content that each content creator was allowed to see and do. So definitely check out all of them. You're going to get different pieces of information from each one.
Yep. And if you're interested in watching the experience as it occurred, there's a number of YouTube videos available as well from influencers and content creators sharing their experiences playing the game. So definitely go search for that. And I know there's a couple of articles on the subreddit that list a number of different sources. So check that out.
Mm-hmm.
And some interesting and good news that we got out of the media tour. Final Fantasy XIV is the most profitable Final Fantasy game, and it's surpassed 24 million accounts now. So this
MMOs are profitable in general, but just the wild success of this one.
and the rags to riches story that it had is
24 million players. Have you seen screenshots of 1.0?
Yeah.
How the hell did we pull this off?
I mean, granted, it's not 24 million players playing all the time. It's not 24 million active subscriptions, but there also was something floating around that showed there was over 1 million active accounts or characters on different worlds. So I mean,
Characters logged in within the last 30 days or whatever. Yeah,
something like that. You know,
mean,
and the number
it started being the thing where it's like there are too many people logged in.
Yeah, but I mean, and that's
this is
something.
Division 3 fucking rocks. Absolutely rocks.
Well, also the fact that they're still trying to work out all of the issues for people logging into the game. There's no way to get enough hardware.
No.
And we're back to that global supply chain thing.
Yep, we definitely are. But
hey, Seyrr, get out of the rabbit hole.
Sorry. It's economics. I like economics.
But from that article that I posted from IGN, he talks about that the player count hit 24 million players 11 years after Final Fantasy XIV was first released. Back in 2015, there were 4 million registered players, and that number hit 10 million by the time we had the third expansion, Stormblood.
Like the fact that it can keep attracting this many new players, like having people who take a break and then return for a expansion are excited about is one thing, but just new people coming in.
But yeah, it's amazing to see that with everything going on within the MMO world and video games in general, the fact that Final Fantasy XIV is able to bring in a number of people who have played other MMOs or other games that they've had issues with, either with the gameplay itself or the company that is running said game, and the fact that for the most part the 14 community has been welcoming to all of these new players, but just the growth of this game that was basically panned in 2010 and almost died on the junk video game heap, to now be this huge behemoth in the MMO industry. So, and the most profitable Final Fantasy to boot. That's crazy.
It was profitable. I mean, what was it like? We're not remaking 7 until something else makes more money, and then Heavensward happened. Like, holy crap, guys! Like, we pulled off an absolute miracle.
Yeah. Good job, guys. And moving on, another bit of information that Taliz put in there. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about this?
Yeah. Okay, so I've mentioned on the channel before a YouTube channel called Final Fantasy Union. Daryl makes some absolutely fantastic videos about the history of Final Fantasy, lore about crystals, jobs, all kinds of stuff, weird facts you may not know about, different things. Recent video is a 7 things you may not know about Final Fantasy XIV. And a lot of the facts are, pretty standardized, like, hey, 1.0 crash, Business Division 3 is a thing, we have a new director, Chocobos were called horsebirds, all the stuff that we all kind of know that has sort of entered the zeitgeist of anybody that's followed 14 for a while. But there's still a lot of really cool pieces of information. The way that they present the video is really cool and interesting to learn about. So check out Daryl's channel, and we're going to throw a link up in the video. If I could grab it really quick. Throw a link in the chat. It's an absolutely phenomenal video that teaches you, if you know nothing about 14, a lot of the information's new. If you know about 14, it's a nice little reminder of where we once were.
And the thing of it is, Daryl is not a 14 player.
Nope.
So the fact that he is making a video on a game that he has regularly said that he has no interest in personally says something.
Yeah. I mean,
He's
like,
not an MMO player.
No.
He's a video game player.
Yes.
He is a story player. He is a lore monger. He is not an MMO player.
and I mean, you think about stuff like the music director, Alex, I can never pronounce his last name.
I'm going to butcher it, so I'm just going to call him Alex Mulaka, and I'm sorry, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Like, he wasn't even interested. He just came in for the music and then was like, oh my god, there's something amazing here.
This is incredible. Sure, I'll collab with Husky and 14 other people to welcome Soken back to work with a collab.
Right?
That's a very good video, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. But yeah.
Other cool Final Fantasy news that has been coming up. Lost Stranger, the manga that I have been harping all of you on to read. There, good stuff, right? Seyrr, who's read it?
Yeah.
Okay. Pre-order Lost Stranger Volume 6. It's coming out November 9th. Without getting into too many spoilers, the cliffhanger of Book 5 left the party packing inside of the Mysidia Royal Library. So anybody that knows about Final Fantasy IV lore, or has followed any of the library-related quests, Great Gooble or otherwise in other games, you're not far off for the chaos that is ensuing. So the adventure's really good. It's always better with company. So if you are reading the manga, hit up Seyrr or myself in the Discord, because we'll chat with you about it.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting exploration of like the Final Fantasy series and world that pulls a lot from it while at the same time being its own thing. I ended up enjoying it a lot more than I initially expected.
I loved the crap out of the first book digitally to the point where I read 4 digitally, and then I bought all 5, and then I've read all 5 physically as well multiple times. Other bits for Final Fantasy. Do you guys remember the Pixel remasters that came out like 2.5 months ago?
You mean that thing that I want on this?
On the Switch?
And that he talks about it pretty much every opportunity. Yeah, there's a glimmering.
So we're obviously still waiting on 5 and 6. The original release dates for the games were 6 should have been out by now. So, and the website hasn't been updated, so that's a problem. But we did get 4, and much to my ADD squirreling, I finally got around to finishing 4 last week.
Yay!
So rather than go through like a whole segment like we did through 1 through 3, it's FF4. It's been re-released a bunch of times. Y'all know it. We went through the music. We talked about Theme of Love as a piano training for kids in Japan. Like, we know 4. We can move on. However, Endwalker is going to be pulling a lot from 4. So if you haven't played it, this might be a cool opportunity to start. A lot of what's true about 1 through 3 was also true in this Pixel remaster. Consistent UI across all of the games. Menu commands are easy. Top tier remasters of the music within the games. So things like Theme of Love and some of the battle music for Kain and Golbez are all really, really good. FF4 has a very rapidly changing party lineup using the front and back row mechanics. It's one of the only games that has a 5-person party. So those front and back row mechanics protect your ranged fighters and mages while having your melee fighters up in the front. There's 11 party members over the course of the story. So we don't just end up reading and watching their chapters. We actually get to use them in battle over the course of this massive journey. And we get to use all of their skills and talents depending on where we are and what we need. So characters like Yang and Kain and Cecil have kind of become their own poster child for their Monk and Dragoon and Dark Knight or Paladin jobs. So $15. If you really like 4 and you don't have a version to play, yeah, go definitely get Pixel Remaster. If you have the DS remake, play that. It's fine. You don't need to buy another one.
No,
if
get
you have
Pixel
the
Remaster.
GBA game. Oh yeah, if you have what is it? The Chrono Trigger FF4 release, Final Fantasy Chronicles for PS1 or the Game Boy Advance version, those featured the old translation that is really challenging, especially if you're entering the game for the first time. So those are a little bit more rough, but they are playable. Personally, I love this game as the scenes that it contains. where there's lots of really cool moments. The Palom and Polum stopping the walls in the castle. The, oh my god, this is a bomb. The, my brother has betrayed us. Your brother's name is Cain, my dude. What did you expect? The love stories. There's 3 world maps. There's 3 airships. Like, there's so many cool scenes and amazing things that happen. But boy, if you're not following it and you take a week off and try to come back, it does feel very disjointed. So definitely play this game as a lot of very good classic Final Fantasy scenes stuck together into one story. Playing it all as one experience definitely makes it way better. But if you do take the break and kind of return to the game, the classic JRPG problem, you're going to have to grind a little bit to sort of remind yourself how your party works. Which is not bad. I finished the game at level 61, and I was running very, very low on alive characters and Phoenix Downs, so leveling is not a bad thing. But if you haven't played 4, go do it. It's fun.
Palom and Porum are the original Alphino and Alice.
I didn't need to hear that today, but yes.
Now use that for making Endwalker predictions.
Just this.
I know Chille is probably down for that, but
I can't stand Alphino, but like, I don't know.
They have their place. I'm not as down on them, so yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to hearing about 5 and 6 when those are released. So hopefully that's we'll hear something about that soon, and I'd like to have all of them available by the end of the year.
All of them being available by holidays would be nice. I'm looking forward to 5 just because of how well they handled 3. I really want to see how they handle 5's job system as well. Yeah,
and like Chille had mentioned earlier in the chat, it's very possible that once all 6 are released, then they'll probably look at creating a pack for like $70 or whatever to sell on consoles.
Yeah, probably.
Because that's what they did. That was the price on if you pre-ordered everything, right?
If you pre-order it on Steam, it was like $75 or $80. It came with a bunch of like soundtracks and like icons and crap that you got for Steam.
Mm-hmm.
I don't own a PC, by the way, so I don't know how Steam works. But
it works
for
amazingly.
the iOS and Android updates, they were just individual. They replaced the games that were already in the app stores, and they're like $10 to $15 each.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it didn't mean that you got access to them if you owned the previous version.
No, unfortunately, they did treat them as 2 separate entities. To which end, if you bought the OGs, at least on iOS, you can still download the original like FF1 through FF6 on iOS, but you can't update them anymore. And so anytime there's like an OS update for your phone, there's a very high chance that app will just perma-break. And that's the end of it, and you just don't have it anymore. So just be forewarned.
Womp womp. But yeah, definitely if you're interested, if you haven't played them before, and you have Steam or a mobile phone, look into it. Definitely worth it. Fun games. Like I said,
they're very fun.
Release it on Switch.
You can will it into existence all you want, my man.
I'm gonna try.
Just use your the secret powers.
Yes. Because I have all of those. All right, but that's not what you guys are here to listen to. You guys are here to listen to some music, aren't you? We're going to continue our journey through Final Fantasy IX musically by jumping into Disc 3 today. There's a lot of good songs in this one.
God, are we on Disc 3 already? Holy crap.
Starting here. And we jump right into it. This is City Under Siege. Is it too loud for you guys, or is it about right?
No, this is good. So this plays at a couple different locations, usually when it's you're in a city that is being attacked. Frequently by Alexandria, but I think Alexandria itself also gets this treatment.
Yep, Battle of Clara, when the party escapes Alexandria Castle, witnesses the first battle of the Aoife Tree, then when the party escapes Terra. But yeah,
there's stuff from this that's vaguely reminiscent of like FF7 and some of those danger type things. Like the things when there was a crisis going on with like the weapons and the Genon cannon. There's some bits that are reminiscent of that. Hey, we have this huge force coming in on.
I can hear that. But the tone is slightly different because it's, you know, based in a different era.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, it kind of does have that more like medieval instruments feel to it. But it's kind of interesting taking that kind of same idea, but exploring it in this different context with the variations in the music there. I always like it when you get something that's like similar, but still different in its own way.
Kanji for this is Shugeki. Translates to assault, or if you look at Geki separately, usually it means war, warrior, battle, some form of clash that's a very powerful type of clash is what this usual kanji goes for.
Yep. The battles that this occurs in are generally, you know, pretty one-sided.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the winning side, and that's it.
All right. Next tune. This is a pretty song. For a very misunderstood for a good chunk of it character.
Oh yeah.
She's still deeply problematic. She did do all the murder. But yes.
But she will kick your ass and then kick ass for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love the crap out of Beatrix. She is amazing.
These variations on her theme I do also really love.
Yep. This is
It's a good
Roses of May, Beatrix's theme. Interestingly, this song is also known as Loss of Me.
Where did you find that?
Thank you to finalfantasy.fandom.com.
Oh, okay.
That's
I'm just looking at the katakana, and I'm like, Rosu Obame, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that tracks.
Yeah, that's an interesting alternate title. I mean, you look at Beatrix as this person who defines herself entirely by this identity of, okay, I fight for Alexandria, for my people. Like this discarding of herself.
Mm-hmm.
Also, she fights for Alexandria, and Steiner fights for the princess. Like, they both had very different roles in their guardship of the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It is also implied at several points, though he would never admit it, that Steiner also fights for Beatrix.
Oh God, they're it's so bad.
Oh my.
It is pull your friend away from the bar levels of bad. He is so down bad for her.
He keeps denying it too.
It's cute though. Come on.
It's incredibly cute. He's an absolute goofball. I love Steiner.
Adalbert Steiner is the underrated character of Final Fantasy IX.
I definitely did not appreciate him nearly as much before.
Yeah, he everybody just thinks him as Tin Can or Rusty or, you know, the big
Rusty.
Clank, 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 clank,
Yep.
clank.
Old man in a can, and it's like, no, he's actually really good.
Yep, and his character is actually a lot deeper than it shows on the surface, and realistically, so is Beatrix. They're very, very complex characters.
I'd play an after years version of Beatrix.
Yeah.
Like, see what happens post game for Beatrix and see the cool stuff that she does and her new role within Alexandria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue on. There's a little mystery with this one.
I don't have the notes up until I can't figure out what it is, or I know what it is, so I'm trying to figure out where the song is from.
It's a little bit spoopy, a little mysterious.
Everyone loves those minor
Is this
keys.
Fossil Rue?
This is Fossil Rue.
God!
Guess where this plays?
I hated this dungeon. I was underleveled for this dungeon. I hated this dungeon so much.
This was one of the first challenges in the game, really. If you were not ready for it, the boss at the end of this place would, yeah.
Every game has a have you figured out our system yet type of battle, and you either just my numbers are bigger than yours your way to the end, or you proved that you understood. Fossil Rue was kind of that, either you get it or your numbers are too big, or you ended up in this dungeon for a long ass time.
Because this was just before the halfway point of the game, really.
This is like, yeah, end of Disc 2, beginning of Disc 3, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean,
It's been a while. Was this the one where you ended up fighting against the bounty hunter, Lonnie? Or was that later? I'm trying to remember where she...
I think that's later.
Okay.
I powered through 9 in 2 days earlier this year, man. It all blends together.
It has literally been over a decade for me.
I think the last time I actually played the game was 2000.
Good news, if you get the remaster for PS4, they have the same remaster cheat abilities where you can run faster, battle goes faster, infinite money, things like that. If you're just playing it for story, there's no medal for doing it the hard way. Just cheat your way at the end and play the story. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's the same version on Steam as well. So.
On Steam? Okay.
I think I own this game.
Feels, says Pyrocats. Yeah, kind of that weird woodwindy.
I do remember a lot of the underground spaces being a bit more like, okay, this is not like a pretty neat dungeon type thing. This is rough hewn, and this is a place where creatures live. And this is not a place that is meant for people. This is a place that people happen to be passing through.
Yes.
It's not shark infested. They live there. Like, this is what these dungeons feel like. It's not monster infested. They live there. You're the one that's not supposed to be there.
Exactly. They're only
Circumstance has forced you there, but
yeah.
Yep. All right. This next song. Have you figured it out yet, Taliz? He's thinking hard.
Oh, this is the Wind Village, isn't it?
Conde Petty.
Yes.
The Windy Mountain Village.
This was fun.
Mm-hmm.
This was a fun chapter.
It's just got a very different sound. It's very light and airy. You know, it fits a wind-themed village.
like it's airy, but it's not light.
Mm-hmm.
There is still a certain weight to it. It also feels ancient in a way that I have trouble describing.
Well, it's dwarven.
Yeah.
To which end, they throw down the rally ho.
Yep.
This is also the place where you get the single best ATE, I believe.
Yes.
Is that the marriage?
Yes.
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 It's coming up.
Yes, as part of the dwarves being very traditional type peoples, won't let anyone through to the other thing except married couples.
So
I forget the exact reason for it.
Don't spoil it. It's coming up.
Oh shit. Okay.
It's coming up.
Oh, fine.
Well, so they're set in this situation, and being the practical people that they are.
Twitch and Phoenix Down Radio is capable of performing marriages. We do have the two witnesses in Klauss and Seyrr, and I am licensed under two different religious organizations. So if you want to get married, contact us at podcast@phoenixdownradio.com.
We will make an episode of it, though.
All right.
Please don't ask me to make your signature cocktail.
No, you just have to sign as a witness. It's fine.
Okay, cool.
I'll be the bartender.
I'll take a Negroni.
I'll take the happy couple signature cocktail.
All I got is whiskey.
I'll take that too.
All right, let's go ahead and move on because it's basically
on, this is a long
just,
one.
just
But yeah,
report. Or
it is kind of
repeats,
weird
so.
to have something that airy be something dwarven, so...
They're very different dwarves.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game doesn't care. It's gonna make shit work for you.
Now we have a very different kind of village now.
This was such a jarring music shift.
Yeah.
But it's very different inhabitants as well. This is the Black Mage Village.
In a previous radio life on 918 The Fan, we were asked in chat at one point, so is Black Mage his job or his race?
Oh, was it?
And we were like, get out of the chat room. And we're like, what the fuck do we say to Sand Golem? Like, how do we do this?
But these are very different Black Mages from other games. These are constructs. These are...
They're automatons.
Yeah. And Vivi's a very, very special one. I still think
Actually, are
Vivi's...
the automatons or homunculi?
It's not 100%. Like, there's a fair amount of stuff when talking to them where they're trying to understand their own nature.
Yep.
Or trying to make peace with things, given that what they do understand of it. Like, there's a lot going on with the Black Mages here, especially as you're getting into some of those existential themes of Final Fantasy IX.
Hey guys, go play 9 and come back to us and see what you think, because we're just as lost as everybody else.
But Vivi is still best boy. Speaking of which...
Or Gigi.
Vivi's right there. There. You can see him back there.
But
Hey,
yeah,
now you
there's
can't
definitely
unsee
a
him.
bit, like, these are Black Mages who have struck out on their own and are trying to make a new life for themselves. And yeah, a little off kilter.
But their theme is banging. Come on.
It's a good theme.
It is.
It's really weird, but it's good.
That's why I like it, because it's so different. It's kind of got the modern synthwave sound mixed with a little bit of the theme of the game itself, as far as being more medieval. So it's kind of a blending of technology and history.
Yeah, I guess thinking about the Black Mages as a kind of technological existence for the setting.
That's kind of my thought. I'm assuming that was Uematsu's thought as well.
It's an interesting perspective.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump to the next one. This is the thing I wanted them to wait on because...
Oh, we ruined the fun, sorry.
Yes, this is the
it's
song
still
that
plenty of
plays during the best scenes and Conde Petty.
Yeah, because being eminently practical, Garner's like, well, if we need to get married to go on, sure, fine, let's just get married. As easily as when she said, yeah, sure, just go ahead and kidnap me.
It tracks.
Yeah. Firecats and I were joking at one point when like we both had shitty health insurance at our jobs. We were like, you know,
You would not be the first by even
No.
a small margin.
and then I was just like, but I have so much debt and you have your shit together. You deserve better. That's fine.
Just live together for 7 years.
It's not even time. I accidentally got almost married to my fiance. Love you too, Firecats. She's like 3 feet from me. No, I mean, she's totally 6 feet away because we're not masked. It's fine.
And it's kind of interesting. You've got the relentless flirt of Zidane, who you think would be the first one to be down for the, oh yeah, let's get married. But he actually seems kind of surprised and taken aback. And it's the sweet, demure princess who is like, oh yeah, we can just get married. It's just for the paperwork, whatever. This is a green card thing, or whatever the equivalent would be.
Sad thing is you're not wrong.
And it's kind of fun to see Zidane just like totally thrown off balance by this.
Yeah, it was a whole, Nani?
Yeah.
I hit the right button. Yay.
Good job.
Well done.
I'm a professional.
Well, that's good. There has to be one of us around here.
It's
I mean,
usually
not actually
me.
required.
But this scene takes on an even different tone when you decide to have Vivi and Quina
Quina get married.
Yeah. Now, technically, you don't have to do this. If you end up not doing that scene, you instead have them meet up with you where they manage to sneak out somehow. But it is so much more fun to watch the little extra scene where you see the two of them standing before the altar. And the dwarves seriously going through the rite. And then the ... So happy. Well, me too.
Partner 1, do you hereby confirm that you want to marry Partner 2? Partner 2, do you hereby confirm that you want to marry Partner 1? I hereby present Partner 1 and Partner 2 as a married couple. I need 5 signatures. We're done. That's it. That's all it takes.
Romance.
Traditional marriage, where I get land or military might or goats or something.
But I want to sing.
Nope. 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 Nope.
And there's our required Monty Python reference. Moving on.
Now for something completely different.
Actually, no, I lied. I moved ahead. The previous song was Unrequited Love.
That was the like.
Yes.
That was the
I totally skipped a line.
The big old narrative scene where they're explaining their past.
Yes.
That was their dialogue scene.
Yes.
This is the actual
This is
standing in front of the marriage
This
larder.
is dwarven wedding music.
Oh yeah? Ceremonial and stuff.
Sorry about that.
That's all good. Now I want to get my FFRPG players and throw them into this dungeon so they have to figure out who's marrying who.
Do it. Do it.
2 of my 3 players are married already to each other, so it will be interesting to see if they choose to get married.
Even better.
Yeah, thinking about it, this kind of works better as a dwarven wedding ceremony thing. It's like very kind of traditional feeling. This is not... Dwarven marriage doesn't seem like it would be about, oh, love and following your heart. It is about, like, tradition and walking the path of your forebears.
Diddle
And
deedle
beards.
diddle deedle diddle deedle diddle dum. It's tradition. That's why.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Why
And
is it
also
tradition?
beards.
Because it's tradition.
Because it always has been.
Yep.
You mean it's always been that way?
We're all not closet theater kids, by the way, for all the new listeners, just so you know.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Nani?
I was the sound guy, so I just ended up learning all the lines anyway.
I was only in a few plays. Seyrr, I can see moving on to community theater.
I mean, high school, the director thought that I was cute and that all of my costumes should emphasize this, which is quite a fate to put on a 10th grader, I have to tell you.
Knowing everything we know now, yeah, that's got to be a fucking interesting process to throw at a 15-year-old.
How about the next song?
Yeah, please, let's move on.
Let's do
We don't
that.
need to talk about marriage anymore.
We have a new character theme. It doesn't fit her in the least.
No.
Well, it fits where she's at in the game, but it doesn't fit her personality. This is Aiko's theme. And
She fits.
she's a 5-year-old, I think.
Or I think,
Very young.
like, improbably so.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, well, it's not like Palom and Porum were that much older.
True.
Yeah, I also have problems with that.
Yeah, and most of the protagonists in these games are under 18, so yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, the last known summoner in the world.
Got the little horn and everything.
Mm-hmm. And a Moogle.
I feel... I'm having trouble saying why, but I feel like some bits of this also seem to line up with elements of Melodies of Life.
Yep, a little bit. Well,
Yep.
we learn some things further on in the game
Yeah.
that explain why. But it sounds like a cute little theme for a cute little girl, and yeah, she's an absolute spitfire.
She's
She's
great.
hitting on Zidane and just...
I mean, she knows what she wants, and she's not going to let anything get in her way.
and she's 4 years old. So yeah, perfect theme. 10 out of 10 would recommend. It's a very cute theme though.
Like, she's making a romantic dinner. She's trying to get her love rival Garnet out of the picture.
Yeah, this is definitely, it falls under Melodies of Life. It's got the same 6-chord progression.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And you can kind of hear the background of the song right there.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah. She also, because she's adorable and a mascot character, sorry, love you, Aiko, but you're a mascot. She shows up in fucking everything. She's in Itadaki Street, Lord of Vermilion, Final Fantasy Dimensions, Opera Omnia, Theater Rhythm, Pictologica, All the Bravest, Record Keeper, Brave Exvius, WAF, TCG. She has a bunch of different options. She's around a lot.
She uses freaking flutes as her weapon.
Flutes and rockets,
I mean, Garnet uses the rockets too.
because they're casters.
Yep.
So they tried to keep some of their stuff together, because
That was an interesting.
gear hunting's a bitch.
That was an interesting thing they did with the itemization, having some types of things used by 2 people, or for instance, having Zidane use both daggers and those dual-bladed swords.
Daggers and also swallows, yeah.
Yeah. I think they called them thief swords in the context of it, but yeah.
Yeah, but they're, for everybody that knows what a swallow is,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
All right, next song, also related to Aiko. This is the theme to the village that she lives in, Medain Sari.
Oh, you're not allowed to leave this village.
She lives there with the Moogles. She's a little kid. Oh, what is that? It's not.
It's
It's not.
accordion.
It's not accordion.
Yeah, or it's a concertina.
Concertina. That's the one.
Yeah, the one without all the keys. It just has the buttons, I think.
Yep. Yeah, I know more than a couple musicians, so it's like, oh no, that's like, no, concertina. Yeah. Interesting choice of instrument for that.
I think this sound is more fitting of Aiko
Yes.
because it's kind of got a little bit of a comic relief feel. Kind of, it's, the accordion concertina, they're kind of a brash sound.
Yeah. Yeah,
They're-
it's not quite as comic to me, but you do have that brassy forwardness, which I mean, it's not a brass instrument. But
No, it's yeah, but
brassy in
it's
that
kind of got
sense.
exactly. It's not, like a lot of woodwinds are going to have a very hollow tone, whereas this has a very forward sound.
Yeah.
And Aiko is a very forward personality.
Oh yeah. She knows what she wants. She's gonna go for it hard. Clearly, the Moogles never taught her to be a refined lady,
Yeah.
despite her claims to the contrary.
This is kind of like what the village is supposed to be. The summoners in the past were very, proper. They were very within, the confines of what they believed.
Like, it's a village of traditions. It's a
There
village
you
that
go.
can call these the Eidolons, these phantom beasts.
And this is the remnants of said civilization.
Yeah, it's actually something that has Aiko very confused, because Garnet is not from that village, doesn't have a horn, but can still call eidolons. How is that even possible? Aiko doesn't get it. But it makes her see that it contributes to her viewing of Garnet as a rival. Love rivals!
All right, and then they move on to another very important location near the village. The Eidolon Wall.
This was such a creepy scene.
Yeah, it's done in almost like a cave painting style.
Yep,
and
pictograph.
it switches to like a almost 2D type thing where you're just walking along it. Even though the place ends up being a big circle, you're just going past all these like images of these great and terrifying beasts throughout history.
All the different beings that have been summoned by summoners of the past. Gee, I wonder why they were called summoners.
Yeah. Now, summoning, at least in this one, seems to require a gemstone as a focus. So, I believe you needed the gemstones in order to, like, permanently learn the skill. And then, like, the number that you had of them would also affect the strength of the summon when you used it.
Sounds right. But yeah, a lot of history involved with the Eidolon Wall.
Yeah. That kind of reverberating bit really adds to it, like, just the reverberations of it. The echoes
It's kind
of
of
history or
almost like-
something.
Yeah, it's very ethereal sounding.
Yeah. It's kinda-
Always those rises, whenever they're like, oh, we have to make sure everybody knows it's music. Or the music is magical. That's what they go with, is that rise.
And that high-pitched flute. Or flute-like thing.
Probably a
I mean,
piccolo.
we saw that all the way back with, like, the Esper world in FF6.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a thing that indicates mysterious forces beyond our ken.
Yep. Very true. Speaking of other magical places, this place has a lot of magic and mystery and murderous intent.
Yeah, it just screams menacing.
Mm-hmm. It's
It makes
also
me think of like movies from the 80s, like 80s sci-fi or type stuff, where it's like, and here is this dark malign force.
also a very challenging puzzle dungeon.
Yes.
This is Aoife, the ancient tree of life.
Quite a fascinating name for it, given everything that's going on with it.
I mean, this is totally a song you would play at a life tree, right? Like, wouldn't you expect to
Like-
hear this song on Yggdrasil or something like that too?
Like, you say Tree of Life or anything like, yeah, Yggdrasil, or like the Mana Tree or stuff like
Mhm.
that. So having...
Yggdrasil is all I ever think of.
Say again?
Yggdrasil is all I ever think of when I hear about Tree of Life. It's like, oh, okay, this is what we're pulling from today.
Yeah. But this one, no, this, like, you expect to be, like, renewing and nature and life's bounty. And no, this is sinister. This is alien.
No, actually, you know
I
what
like-
this sounds like? Is that your final answer?
God, that's a dumb show. Anyway,
I mean, come on. That doesn't that sound like that?
There's a couple elements of it, I guess.
yeah, a little, actually, now that you mention it.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, there's a lot of stress involved when it comes to being in a game show like that. So this is a very stressful
Bruce.
environment as well. I mean, you're only, gonna die if you take a wrong turn, or be stuck here forever.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
No worries.
Yes. Yeah, in the process of, let me just see what. So yeah, we find that the Ifa tree is the tree of life that kind of takes in like the mist from various life forms and then pumps it out again into the world. So it seems to have something to do with that cycle, which is why it's referred to as the tree of life. But then we start finding that the exact mechanism of it does have a couple unexpected features to it.
All right, let's go ahead and move on. After the Ifa tree, we encounter a very strange person.
Yeah.
A very red person. Well, at least his hair.
Given that his title is The Flaming, I know a lot of people went with entertaining names for him.
Or he's also known as the Salamander.
Yeah, there was a few translations that had his. This is Amaranth, by the way, and I love him so much.
Amaranth Coral, the crazy guy with the claws.
He does sort of just kind of show up really close to the later part of the game where you already have your party dynamics down, so you're like, what are you? And he literally is just damage numbers.
Yeah, he is a beast though. You get the right claw weapons.
He's cool. He has a cool story. I like having him in the party. I like that he's in the game. But he is damage numbers when your primary party member that is doing something else is off doing whatever.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of his role as a story-wise, he's one of the ones where at first it's not clear why he's even with you. He started as a bounty hunter, trying to bring in Garnet after all the various stuff with the Black Waltzes have failed. Queen Brana is just trying any and everything she can, and so these bounty hunters have stepped up to the challenge. And then he goes and decides after being beaten that, hey, what he cares about is strength. If you can beat him, okay, he kind of wants to follow you for a bit and see what's up with that. But he always makes it clear throughout that he's not really interested in any of this, like, friendship and teamwork and kind of thing. He's very clearly in it for himself throughout.
But this is a theme that does definitely fit his character. He's a kind of a cool, quiet guy, kind of hangs back, but then when the punches are thrown, he's right in there.
And he's not really interested in having a chat after.
No.
There's a difference between cool and cold. This is definitely cool.
Mm-hmm. He's definitely the cool character. Now, we've heard some of this type of, melody before.
Usually we heard this more on a pipe organ. Now it's kind of more subtle, like music box-ish.
Yep. This is called the Devil's Ambition. The devil, in this case, being Kuja. When the party confronts Kuja at the Ifa tree is when we first hear this. He's got something planned.
It's just creepy because, like, you see him often enough throughout the story and you know that you're not supposed to trust him, but you don't really know why. And then, like, starting now-ish is where he's like, all right, I'm going to start showing you why you shouldn't trust me.
This is where a little bit of his crazy ideas start to, transpire. He goes from this really odd character to a more sinister.
And the realization that he's been like this all along, it just never became apparent the depths of what he was doing. Like, oh, we thought you were this super theatrical whatever. No, you're a real threat here. And it's kind of cool to have it, again, not with the grand swelling pipe organ, but with the, like, quiet, subtle evil.
Mm-hmm. It just creeps up on you.
Yeah.
It's hanging in the back of your head. and you kind of are feeling the tension build back there. You know something's going on. It's unsettling.
Yeah. He goes to a bit of trouble to explain the Aoife tree. This thing that, again, regulates the flow of life, that it's actually blocking the return of souls from this planet from being, like, the life from being reborn and remade, and instead letting through souls from somewhere else. Kind of an assimilation type thing. So you have this huge in-scope thing going on.
All right, let's continue.
And this,
go
and
ahead.
find out that, oh, hey, this guy has turned out to be part of this insanely huge plan.
All right, let's get a little bit of a different feel. This is some fun stuff.
This is also a good little throwback because we're so deep in the story that we have to be like, hey, remember all of the characters that we met at the very onset of what we were doing? This is Baku and all of the thieves and all of the Tantalus members.
This isn't like your traditional thing where it's like, oh, hey, and all the previous ones got killed and now we're free to go on our adventure. They're
No.
still doing their thing. They're still having their effects and putting stuff going on in the background.
Yep. This is called Outlaws. And plays when we go to revisit Baku. Well, the story revisits Baku and the rest of the Tantalus crew.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little active time event that happens while we're over with Kuja and the Aoife tree. Kind of a meanwhile.
Yeah, that really was kind of the first thing where you had so many different meanwhiles, which you couldn't see all of them, and some of the ones that you did would have effects on items you could find or other things that might happen.
Yep.
I remember being very frustrated at not being able to see them all.
Well, dang it, just play it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, these guys are just so lighthearted and lovable, but they're thieves. So here's our thief song. Well, we're just a bunch of goofy guys.
They're thieves who are also theater actors. Theatrical little bastards.
All right. Next. This was an interesting little side quest. Bit of fun. The foolproof love letter scheme.
And there's kind of like a element of the Moogle theme in there.
Yes, this is so dumb.
I love it.
I hated it. Seyrr and I are very different people in the things that we enjoy.
It makes for fun perspective changes. But yeah.
It's just a goofy little thing.
Yeah, various characters have various feelings for each other, and Aiko, being Aiko, decides the best way to handle this is to write a knockout love letter that will win Zidane's heart and start the epic romance that she knows is going to be hers.
Ooh la la!
And it's not super well labeled, and a lot of confusion starts happening on, like, okay, who is this intended for? Who just saw it?
Yeah, it's just...
Well,
it's cute.
Yeah,
Like, several different people, I want to say 4 or 5 different people, each think the letter is for them and are trying to make guesses as to who it's from.
but you know, whenever Moogles are involved, nothing can go wrong, right?
Nothing bad is gonna happen.
Nothing.
Oh, those lovable little fluff balls.
Right, Chille?
Everyone loves Moogles.
All right, next song.
Here we go. I heard this song a lot.
Oh yeah.
This song is the Tetramaster song. If you want to play card games and hate yourself, I have a great song for you to listen to.
It's no shuffle and boogie, I'll tell you that much.
It's
It's a lot lighter.
also this game is so different than Triple Triad. So if you came in expecting Triple Triad, you're just gonna get fucking destroyed.
No, Tetramaster has a couple of extra layers on top of just the numbers. You have elements, you have
Attack, defense, elements, and damage type.
I felt like it just complicated it unnecessarily, though.
I liked it more. But I grew up playing Magic, so of course I did.
I enjoyed
Got
it. Tetramaster's a great quick game.
I tried it a
Triple
bit,
Triad.
but, like,
sorry, I take it back. Triple Triad's the great quick game. Tetramaster's the one where you can sit down and actually come up with an actual legitimate strategy, based off of the different cards that you have, and create a number of different decks to play with, so you can, maximize your potential.
Opportunities.
Also, if you played FF11 and had a play online account, you could pay a small additional monthly fee for to play Tetramaster.
I never.
All I played was Tetramaster. I actually preferred Tetramaster to 11.
I tried it once during the free trial when you could try it out for like a week or something like that, and
oh yeah,
I'd rather play it in the game. I liked it better in 9 versus the game that they had for Tetramaster.
I did too.
A friend of mine would play it when 11 was down for maintenance.
Yeah.
The fact they charged $1 a month to be able to play it, though, was a little bit bold there, SE.
I've paid way more than that to play a card game.
But those are generally good card games with regular updates.
As opposed to Tetramaster. Yeah. Yeah, if you like playing kitchen table Magic, you will like Triple Triad. If you like having to, on demand, have a memory of 600 unique cards and how every single interaction of 2 to 6 cards operates, you will love Tetramaster. I played Esper, so I loved Tetramaster.
Well, the fact that it's on a
feels
larger...
a little elevator music-y.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, but the thing is, though, these games go for a lot longer than a Triple Triad game would go. A Triple Triad game can be done in like less than a minute, whereas a Tetramaster game, you could easily spend 5-10 minutes, trying to, because the board is actually much bigger as well. It's like a 5x5 board, and there's some spots where you actually 4x4, but there's spots where you can't always lay a card.
Yep.
So, and that was a lot of it was randomized, and effects on the board were different. So you wanted to make sure that the cards that you laid in those spots were, complementary. Otherwise, you would end up, hurting yourself, or you would want to try and get your opponents to lay a card in there so it would, weaken itself. It was kind of interesting, but yeah, it was.
The mechanics by which you could get win or lose cards as well and you could get different variations, so there would be like stronger or weaker versions of the same card.
Yep, it wasn't just a strict deck, and that's all you got. You collected however many, like 60 cards that there were in Triple Triad. There was a
lot.
Yeah, I mean, you could farm for improved cards and things like that. So it was a very different style game. And overall, like I said, I enjoyed it. I played in the tournaments to get the cool items. So yeah, with that, let's go ahead and continue on to another fun little theme.
There's Moogles.
I can't wait to hear this in March. I forgot to mention that I got tickets for the A New World Final Fantasy show coming up. So I did post information about that in the Discord. So if you are interested and you're going to be in St. Paul that weekend for a detour, join us. It's going to be a good time. Anyway, Moogle music.
It's your Moogle theme. It's a little less like...
I like this part.
It's not sedate exactly, but
It is it's a
little
muted
less
version
energetic
of it.
than your
Yes.
typical Moogle theme.
Yeah, it's slightly muted, but then the Moogles in this game are slightly muted as well. They're not quite as overbearing as they are in some games.
They are gentle. They are lazy little buggers.
And we love them for it.
I'm not saying Moodgle? Big Moodgle? Yeah, it's not working. I'll workshop it.
I appreciate you trying, though.
Pyrocats in the chat saying it's more stately.
I could see that, like
A
being
little
less
bit.
energetic. Like it's not quite super dignified Moogles, but it is like a yeah. That's an interesting way to describe it.
And like I said, that's why it's cool about having people who aren't as familiar with the music and the context of the game, and just hearing the song and just kind of getting their opinion about that. That's a really cool piece. So
that's a cool take.
All right, next one.
There it is.
Heck yeah.
Does this part of the song sound familiar?
It should.
I don't know anyone who wasn't incredibly wowed by this entire set piece.
Yeah, this is called Light of Destiny. No, Something to Protect. Sorry, I skipped a line again.
This is Something to Protect.
Something to Protect. This is, because Light of Destiny could also kind of fit, but it's a very different song.
I will protect the queen. Clash, clash, square, down, up, X.
It's actually not a journey song. This is a fight song between Steiner and Beatrix.
Or also a fight song
with
of Steiner.
with them together, I guess.
Yeah, the two of them teamed up, working together to protect Alexandria.
I can also see this playing when the two of them are fighting against each other too, though.
Yeah, they definitely are just like, enemy of my enemy is still my enemy, but we have shit to do. Let's go.
They don't quite. They're not quite on the same terms yet. They're not seeing eye to eye quite yet.
They are not going to be on the same terms.
But
that's okay.
Yep, this is happening during the Battle of Alexandria, and it's
the two of them are working together to clear those Mistodons out.
Yep. Yeah, it's a cheerful, energetic version of Roses of May, with a little bit of Steiner's theme thrown into it for good measure.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of got
this
that
is the
whole
one where you get to use all of Beatrix's cool skills.
Yep.
Yeah, and she has a lot of them, by the way, like a ton.
She's a badass.
Yep. We love the Beatrix.
Like, part of the point of that is just to see, oh my god, she really does have that much power. We never had a chance against her. Yeah, I think in the backstory, I want to say, at least for something, like, Steiner was responsible for Beatrix losing that eye. It was, like, in a competition combat type thing. So the idea that, like, Steiner could beat her, and that the two of them have a weirdly complex relationship.
Yes.
Because, yeah, as said, Steiner really likes Beatrix. And there's signs that Beatrix might reciprocate a little bit, but both are so caught up in their duty.
Yep, they are very honor bound to what they're bound to serve at this point. That they don't have time for their own
not that great at talking
stuff.
about their feelings.
Exactly.
Shock surprise.
Exactly. Okay, this very different feeling to the previous song. This is a song of realization. It's called Light of Destiny.
Oh, this is the
This is Light of Destiny.
Yeah, Garnet has returned to
She's
Alexandria.
Yep, she awakens on in Alexandria and goes to the castle roof.
Light of Destiny is a very weird translation for this, but all right.
Yeah, because I believe it would normally translate to the summoned.
Shokan Sadashi is Shokan is summoning.
I mean,
So Sadashi, yeah, give or take a little bit.
yeah, part of it is, of course, as she's progressing to the roof, seeing this light that, although she can't explain why, it's somehow familiar.
Yep.
Not in a great way either.
No, this is definitely not a good memory. Very mysterious, very spooky.
Yeah, you've got some of that reverberation that we heard for, and also some of those that kind of like almost alien sounding thing.
Yeah, this is what I think it is. Yeah, it's a very, this is
like
encountering this would definitely be very scary.
It's like
progression from Melodies of Life again.
Part of it. Yeah, because if we were to do something like, instead of it being Sadashi, if it was Sareta, that would be something like the summoned. So Shokan Sareta Hikarimono-ish would be something like Summoners of Light or the summoned light person.
Yeah, like that's one of the things, like, we've had so much talk of memories and the various things. This is a memory that you didn't know that you had. It's like an involuntary thing, something not clearly remembered.
Correct.
It affects you and you don't know why. And the entire experience is unsettling. Speaking of unsettling.
Yep.
Our pipe organ's just always creepy.
Well, I mean, that's the most memorable songs in Final Fantasy have pipe organ in them.
True. Oh, this is the Garland backing track, right?
This is Master of Time.
Yep. 9 is just a love letter to the first 8 games.
Yep.
Pro tip, if you love the fact that 14 is just a theme park for all of Final Fantasy fandom, you're going to love the crap out of 9.
Yeah.
Plus Vivi.
Plus BB is definitely.
Greatest character in Final Fantasy history. Fight me.
Yuna. Vivi's pretty great.
Match, I was going to say, like, if we're... I don't want to pick between those two, but if I had to, I'm definitely not picking Yuna.
Seyrr just likes Yuna because she sings in it in 10-2.
No, actually. I will have this rant, but we're not doing it now, because right now we're talking about 9. Like, I will absolutely throw down and defend this choice, just not right now.
Stick around for the after show. But yeah, when Garland shows up, it's definitely unsettling.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Garland, as established in this, he's not even a life form in the traditional sense. He's kind of a guardian thing-ish. He is treated for one very specific purpose.
Is this Jack Garland?
I don't understand that reference.
Stranger of Paradise last trailer.
God damn it.
Yeah, they named him Jack Garland. Why?
I kind of hate that.
He'll be the true chaos. It was him all along. He's fighting his past or future self. I don't know, man.
Well, good news, everybody. You don't need to buy Stranger of Paradise now.
We just, yep. Spoilers. Just kidding. We'll have a thing about that. Yeah, we forgot to talk about that today, but it's all right.
I did completely accidentally spoil Neon Genesis Evangelion when I had never seen it. I was just snarking the most random made-up crap I could, and one said, "Hey, don't spoil it for the people who haven't seen it." And I was like, "Oh God, what am I in for?"
I
need to rewatch that.
Do it. Anyway.
You may recognize the melody on this song. We started off our journey in Final Fantasy IX with this song.
We started the whole game. This was the title screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, a version of this is the title screen.
This is
Did that title screen thing actually show up anywhere in the game?
Right here.
Well, yes, this.
Yep, this is a rearrangement of A Place to Call Home. But this plays when you visit Olivert. Probably, it's a weird spelling of a name. Oeilvert.
I believe there's actually significance to the name.
Probably, but it's a lot of vowels at the beginning and not very many at the end.
There's so many French pronunciations in this game too.
It has a very different feeling when it's not played on, a normal flute. It's more tension.
Yeah, it definitely feels tense. Also, I found it, so Oliver, if you're talking in French, means green eye. Which is another one that's a bit of a callback. For instance, people who have the Veil of Wii U in FF14, you may remember that she was referred to as Green Eyes. That's another one that comes up a few times.
So just a couple of different spellings of Wii U kind of thing at the beginning there?
Sort of.
They seem to have a similarly related root, even though they're spelled differently.
I mean, the Ver is the green.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the Wii U and the and the Oi or whatever. Anyway, weird word.
Hey guys, we only know English. Moving on. We know bad English.
It is kind of interesting though to see where they're pulling the nomenclature of a lot of these songs. Where they're drawing it in from. So
right.
That's one of the interesting bits of Final Fantasy lore, and the fact that the music also echoes that same lore.
Yeah,
or goes even deeper sometimes.
Yeah,
usually deeper.
Oliver itself, I believe, was supposed to be effectively an ancient museum.
Was it?
Yeah. So, yes, just for reference, at this point we've learned that the whole thing with the flow of souls, that the world is Gaia, but there is another world called Terra. And the tree is redirecting the soul to stop the flow of Gaia's souls and replace them with Terra's souls, effectively assimilating the planet. Oliver is kind of a museum of Terran history. So you have like those weird talking faces, they're telling you about all the stuff. Like, it's a thing where you get lots of revelations that are difficult to understand at the time.
And it definitely explains the stress that you feel when you listen to the song.
Yeah. Like,
Big
this
time.
is a history museum for an alien people.
Or maybe we're the aliens, man.
Hey, it's our planet, they're the aliens.
Maybe we're the aliens, man. Just kidding. Anyway, I had nothing better to say on that. But if you thought the other song was heavy, this one really punches it on there. Again, you can hear it in the background, but it's kind of got that whole distorted chorus.
Yeah. This one's also occurring in Oliver.
Yep.
So again, you've got all the various historical things, and this includes I forget the name of it, but it's like this room with a huge number of faces.
Maybe a chamber of 1,000 faces?
Oh, is that the name of it?
Yeah,
so it is.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Relating the story of Terra and the various worlds that it's kind of assimilated and taken over.
I love when my co-hosts read the show notes that I spent so much time working on.
That's what that happens, isn't it?
Oh, I love you guys. It's like the 1,000 faces are singing at us.
Yep. That's exactly what it is, and it's fucking creepy, and I love it.
Yep.
Like the fact that it's kind of coming from the bottom of a well at that.
Do you guys ever watch Game of Thrones through, like, I think this was like kind of past the halfway point when what is her name? Now I didn't have a whole thing. It just reminds me of the whole the church, the House of Many Faces.
Interesting, given the context.
Yeah.
And shots at the bar about the families. I know nothing about it. I know absolutely nothing about it. The pink one was good.
But yeah, like the whole thing, again, the whole sounding like it's coming, as I said, from the bottom of a well. If you think of like these voices from out of like the depths of history, like deep, deep history.
Yeah, you kind of get a whole unsettling feeling as you're going through all of this.
A lot of 9 is very unsettling in general.
Mm-hmm.
Hope for something a little bit less unsettling.
Like, oh hey, let's do some jump rope.
Look back! Be the frog! Oh, Sid, who has been turned into a frog.
At least he's not an Oglop anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's not better, but yeah.
Now there's a different set of things that will attempt to eat you.
Uri kaeru to yasu ga iru. That's Toll. My bad.
This plays during the scene which Sid turns the hourglass while in Kuja's desert palace.
Yeah.
Gotta be
Sid is such a hero in this freaking game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just for a little explanation on that, Kuja's captured the party, has sent several of them off to Oliver to get something that he wants. Oh, hang on. Has sent to get this thing that he wants, has the others in this, like, classic supervillain trap with floors, their cell floors slowly opening up over a lava pit.
Yeah. Very evil.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say, Mr. Hero, I expect you to die.
Yeah, there is some amount of like, okay, are you just doing this for the sheer villainy of it?
Duh.
Of course.
And yes, as those things are slowly opening up, there's an hourglass that Sid can turn to help prevent that from happening.
Except for when he turns it the wrong way. But hey, how many times have you seen a frog save the day? Unless you watch a lot of Muppets.
Yeah. Not often.
But yeah, Sid is goofy. The whole little mini game when you're trying to avoid the hedgehogs.
Yeah, after all of the heavy revelations at Oliver, having the goofy mini game is kind of a welcome bit of comic relief.
Yes.
This was another thing where, again, it got fairly difficult because you had 4 that went there, 4 that stayed behind. You get lots of hints that, like, oh, hey, you don't want to bring characters that use a lot of magic to this. So it definitely becomes a, okay, how well have you been developing up your entire party?
Yep.
And if you split up, I think Aiko is your default, like, party leader. I don't remember if this was the game that you could switch who was available on the screen or not, but I think Aiko defaults to party leader.
I don't recall. It's been a while. But yeah, this is definitely a game where you want to work all of your characters through, level them up, gain AP, learn skills. Split up the load a little bit, and
yeah,
you'll thank us later.
Like, learn holy. You need it. Don't get smart with me. Don't tell me how to play. You go learn holy. You need it.
We saw it a bit in some of the other games where it'd be like there's multiple party members, and there would be some amount of encouragement to level more than just a few of them.
Yep.
I mean, that varied a bit between games. FF8 had the whole, you can just switch your junctions directly onto everyone thing, and it doesn't actually matter what their level is.
Yep. Get somebody as low level as you possibly can and smash the game at level 9. Hey, the music stopped. What's the next track?
Okay, well, how about we go to the next song? I didn't want to interrupt Seyrr when he was talking about things. He may have been important.
Oh.
I mean, occasionally something good, passes through his mouth.
Wow.
But this
So anyways, the music.
Yes, this is Estogaza.
Lots of places with really weird names.
This was one of the all cities in Final Fantasy tend to have like a song that is associated with them and a soundtrack piece. And sometimes it's just city theme, especially back in like the NES days when we just didn't have the memory. But 9 doesn't give a shit. They're like, we're on CDs, we can do what we want. So this is the Estogaza. It's played pretty much just exclusively in this city.
Mm-hmm. But this is also kind of known as the Sacred Grounds. So it's a theme that if you just had a generic town theme, it wouldn't fit for this particular location.
No, you need it to be more than that.
So that's why I really appreciate that they gave each different town its own feeling. Each of the residents had their own, kind of behaviors and modes, and the way they dressed was different as well. If you compared the people in Estogaza versus Conde Petty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Estogaza is kind of not quite like a religious or church town, but it's like a town that many pilgrims pass through, given that it's on the way to various sacred sites. Mm-hmm. So there's definitely a bit more of like the kind of like spiritual religious flavor to it.
It's a holy place. It's late enough in the game that you're in the mysterious secret island in the magical mist of whatever. So it's a lot harder to find. So they needed to give it kind of that mystical shimmer. And in a game franchise that's very notorious for having music that does that, this is what they picked to do that on.
Yeah.
Also, didn't you get locked out of this almost immediately? You could come in twice, buy a bunch of shit, do all the mini quests, and then leave.
Yeah.
I don't think you don't spend much time here.
Yeah, because you go to Mount Gold, and then afterwards you travel to the Shimmer. Mount Gold. After that, you go
the name of the region.
And then after that, you go to the Shimmering Isle, and that's a kind of a major point of no return.
Yes. Oh God, yeah. But no, Mount Gulag or Mount Gulg,
or the volcano.
Volcano. Is a harken back to Final Fantasy 1. Mm-hmm. The Gurugu Volcano, Gurugu being the sound that lava makes, just like Pika is the sound that electricity makes. This is the fire crystal dungeon near Crescent Lake in FF1.
Yep. Well, there have been Mount Gulgs in a number of other Final Fantasy games too. I mean, it's appeared in 14. Wasn't there one in 4?
There was one in 4 as well, but they're all references to 1.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we named our volcano a certain thing.
Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle.
Gurgle, gurgle. Yep.
Mount Gurgle.
Now I'm just imagining a really shitty 3rd grade science project with a bottle of scope next to it, just being like, Mount Gurgle, figure it out. Yep.
I love how this song just plays though.
So is it possible for you to play a track from FF1?
Not right now, no. Not
Okay,
without screwing
this
things
is
up.
if you play them back to back.
You know,
it's like,
I
oh,
hear
this
it.
is definitely
I hear it.
designed to be that.
I hear it. Now that you mention it, there are some a little subtle callbacks. I mean, they were very limited to what they could do in the NES age, but taking the inspiration from that original track and bringing it here, that's genius.
Yep.
That's Uematsu.
Uematsu knows that you don't make everything wholesale. You use stuff you already had.
And the final song of Disc 3. This is a very poignant part of the game. The song is called Broken Spell, Healed Hearts. The broken spell... Oh, Seyrr, come back! The broken spell being the spell on Sid. He turns human at this point. But the song also plays when the party rescues Queen Hilda in Mount Gurugu.
There we go. Sorry about that computer crash.
Okay.
Thank God for
but
SSDs.
like the song Toketa means like melted. So but not in the like ice returning to water, but in the solid being destroyed style of melted.
Like a wax candle melted.
Kind of, yeah. So the idea of the broken spell
Or a broken seal.
broken seal is the melted, the taking what exists and turning it into something else that exists in a new form that does something else now.
It's also kind of interesting given the boss that you fight in Guguru. Melted Gemini.
My apologies for the distraction. There's a cat.
Ooh, kitty, kitty.
Cat tax. Cat tax.
Yes, you must get the cat on camera now.
Hang on.
We hear about a cat, we get to see a cat. That's how society works.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna just send it to just the two of you, no one else.
And what a better time to have a kitty join us on the screen than, when we just finished the song, so.
Bam.
So, oh, come on. You should show
Come
us.
here, hang on. Here we go.
There
There it
we
is.
go.
Hi, kitty, I love
you.
This is a
I love you,
Kiki.
kitty.
This is Kiki, and this is
Aw.
Pyrocats, by the way.
Pyrocats, can you boop the snoot, please? Boop the snoot.
Boop boop. Nope, she's not
Okay.
having it with me.
Oh, hi,
She
kitty.
doesn't like me.
This is
An
why you need
attempt
to
was
join us
made, that's
live
what
at
I need.
twitch.tv/PhoenixDown Radio, because you get random cats and Pyrocats is joining us randomly. So,
Do you work from home? Do you know how Zoom meetings fall apart? Good news, you fit right in here at Phoenix Down Radio,
yes.
where we boop the snoot every other Saturday at twitch.tv/Phoenix Down Radio.
Normally,
Dude, start of the pandemic, I demanded and got our library director to pay the dog tax.
I don't know how to
Standards were a
respond to
little
that.
bit laxer back then.
I don't know how to respond to that. All right.
So that's disc 3 of Final Fantasy IX.
God, it's so good.
It's good stuff.
It's so good.
It's kind of sad that we have to wait a whole month to hear disc 4.
It is, however, I would like to point out that we did wait like 7 months to do 9 in general. So,
That-
like,
There was
we
a
will
lot
get
of
there.
stuff that happened, Joe.
there's a lot of shit that happened this year. But we're going to come back in a month. We're going to do disc 4. We're going to have culinarian stuff. We're going to have lore stuff. It's going to be an awesome
We're
show.
going to have a lot of things to talk about with Endwalker, because we're going to
Yes.
be a week away from early access.
I will make an actual attempt to stream stuff in the interim. So, like, for those of you who can't get enough of me and my tendency to talk about anything, literally anything, for hours on end. Oh, right, I had a rant. We'll save that for after show.
Talk about just teasing people like that. Come on, man.
Oh, God.
Oh. Tris Marigold says that their cat also says hi. Well, now
Aw.
you also need to pay the cat tax. We will accept links to pictures.
Yes.
What
right.
day next month for the show, by the way? Just
Okay,
a quick recap.
Recapping the schedule for the rest of the year. So our next episode is going to be November 13th, which again is a Saturday, 4 weeks from today, the week before Early Access, the week after Extra Life. So we'll be talking about how Extra Life went. We'll talk about all the Endwalker stuff coming up. We'll talk about whatever these two yahoos decide to write up about for culinarian or librarian stuff. It'll be a good time. So make sure to tune in then. We have some comments, some interaction in the social media.
Did we actually get interactions?
We got interactions. At Andrew and Vaktar. Sorry if I totally slaughtered that. But
no, see, lean into it. Try to slaughter it. It's more fun.
Why? This person was awesome. And they tweeted at us, just re-downloading all the music episodes of Phoenix Star Radio due to my Final Fantasy related nostalgia overload recently. And then they took a picture of the different episodes that they were downloading. So let me copy and paste their tweet. Thank you so much for listening and downloading those so you can listen to them offline. I hope you really enjoyed them.
Music is one of those things that it, like the scent of something, it just kind of reaches right down into like the depths of memory and yanks on all the levers. You can't even control it.
And Mike G at WWE Mike G replied, "Ooh, good idea."
Yes, it is a good idea.
And we at the podcast account replied, "That was a Galaxy Brain idea." Exactly. We're glad you guys are enjoying it. We're going to try and get through as many of these songs as we can. We always just enjoy talking about it, so it's good stuff. So, anything else you guys can think of?
Check out our Patreon.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second. So, if that's
fine.
If there's nothing else,
no.
How about a Galaxy Brain idea of going ahead and ending this episode? If you liked what you heard, please make sure to like, subscribe, and follow us out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube. We're on Spotify. You can find us on your Amazon devices. You can just ask for Phoenix Sound Radio, and they shall deliver.
Ooh.
Or whatever
We're
you prefer.
in the future.
Yes, or whatever preferred podcatcher that you personally use. And if possible, leave us a rating or review, because it does help other people find our show, as well as let us know what you guys think. And if you really dig this show, please consider subscribing here at twitch.tv/Phoenix Star Radio after you change your password. And you'll get access to subscriber only emotes and badges, some really cool stuff, and you'll get shout outs and things like that. And you get to hear things like, nope, wrong button.
No, it's the right button.
I mean, it's accurate.
But no,
It's over.
you get
Moment's
to hear
over.
that when you guys subscribe during the show, like Nick Nar did earlier today. Or if you prefer, you can support us out on Patreon, like our benevolent overlord Aurora Fenrir, or our shadowy foreign investor Tibian Salts, by visiting www.patreon.com/PhoenixDownRadio. All proceeds go towards growing the show, cover things like hosting costs, allow us to improve and upgrade equipment, as well as do some fun contests and giveaways like we've done in the past. But any kind of support, whether it's emails, likes, tweets, retweets, subs, follows, or just stopping in the chat and saying hi, we really appreciate it. You know, we love interacting with you guys and the rest of the community. If you want to check out the backlog of our episodes, you can go to our website, phoenixstarradio.com. If you have questions, suggestions, or things that you'd like to discuss, you can email us podcast@phoenixstarradio.com. And make sure to check out our past episodes. We have all of our past video episodes out on our YouTube page at youtube.com/PhoenixStarRadio. So if you missed like episode 29, which Amazon reminded me happened 5 years ago this week.
Oh, that's so weird.
So long.
Yeah. God damn it. That was such a good
What
time in
even
Vegas.
is time?
But yeah, 5 years ago around this time was FanFest in Vegas 2016. That was so cool. That Amazon.
5 years ago this time. Actually, what's the date? The 16th?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were driving home.
5 years ago, I was sleeping in a bathroom with my feet against the wall so that I didn't get caught by immigration.
You live a very interesting life.
That's
And
why
I
he's...
hadn't heard of Phoenix Down Radio yet.
Wow.
My response to coming back from South Korea and having my life thrown upside down was to throw myself fully into Final Fantasy XIV. One thing led to another, and I found a lot of podcasts, including this one.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's how long I've been listening. Holy crap.
And that was
Weird, right?
That was the last time I was at a fan fest.
Yeah.
Well, the one and only time, actually, but...
It's FanFest. It is what it is.
Like, honestly, I barely even looked at the stuff for the virtual one. Like, the hanging out with people is the thing that I found I really do enjoy from that. And it turns out there's lots of other good stuff to do for that. I think you were talking about Anime Detour up your way.
Oh,
Yep,
yes.
Detour, KupoCon,
It's
local anime conventions, whatever.
The interactions with your friends and the new people you meet, that's what makes conventions the fun that they are. So I like I said, because
heck, a bunch of the lore mongers are just thinking of going up to Seattle and getting Hot Pot together.
it would have been funny if you said Hot Pockets.
No. Hot Pot. Proper Hot Pot.
Okay, so when
Non-profane Hot Pot.
when Seyrr lands at SeaTac, I promise to bring you a ham and cheese hot pocket.
Oh, God.
When I got back from living in Japan for the first time in 2015, my
Love
girlfriend
it.
at the time, deadass, met me at luggage with a bag from Taco Bell.
Okay, I mean, that's different.
God, I needed a taco so bad. Anyway,
I can get Hot Pockets here.
So, who's got shout outs?
I would like to shout out our shadowy person that I hadn't get permission to mention on the show, who was up for a whole weekend. We had an absolute blast hanging out with her, so new friends, new social contacts, always a lot of fun. I'd also like to shout out my roommate and former FC mate, Bannon, who has managed to take something that didn't work and turn it into something that did work using the power of brute force, ignorance, and a drill. He was able to get that shed together, which was pretty rad. So now we have a cool shed to go along with our cool shop and also our cool house.
Don't forget the big hammer as well, because that was probably involved too.
We did use a mallet, in fact, yes. Shout outs to Pyrocats, who convinced me to wake up and put on pants before noon today, and we went for a very short hike, but it was an absolute blast, so that was a lot of fun as well.
And where can people find you?
Oh yes, we also got teriyaki at H Mart, because why the hell not?
Oh, yeah.
If you want to find me, you can find me on the Discord, because social media is a curse upon humanity and should be burned to death. If you do decide that you want to follow my stupid TikTok reposts and all the shit posting I do on Instagram, you can follow me at Marvelous Tofu at either one of those platforms.
Very nice. Seyrr.
All right. I'll go ahead and give a shout out to the Maelstrom radio crew of Flatus and Shintir, who was away on vacation, but still grateful because it was an honor to be on your show. Love hanging out with you. Chille as well. You were a great contributor there. Yeah, it is fun to go and just talk with other people on all the things. Like, really, I'll talk with anyone about anything. Have me on your show. I'm ever so lonely.
Oh, Lord.
Dude, I miss doing story time. I've been doing work with the teens lately. I don't get to do story time anymore.
But you got shitpost time at least, so.
Yep. No, and I spent a while selecting Switch games and the like. So I mean, there's still fun stuff to do, but I like reading stuff to people. I like talking at people. I need to find that quote where Tahani is talking about how she adores talking, because that me.
Also, that reminds me we should create a Nintendo Switch channel in the Discord.
Not a bad idea. Remind me after this to actually go and get my friend code thingy for you.
Yes, please. And how can people find you?
So you can also find me on the Discord. I am on several community Discords. I, again, like talking with people there, and it's something that I can reasonably browse while I'm working. So it is a nice way to break up things and help keep from getting too bogged down in any one thing. So I welcome your conversations at pretty much any time.
Because he likes to shitpost.
Yeah. You can also find me on Twitter at FF14Seyrr. That's FFXIV SEYRR. 1Y, 2 R's. These days, I'm mostly retweeting and shitposting with Anonymous because that is how lore mongers do. Good times.
Yes.
Everyone wants to know our predictions for stuff, and we don't know anything more than you. We're good at putting together stuff that exists, but anyways, yes.
There will be tacos.
That said, Fan Daniel, totally a libertarian.
Also tacos.
Yeah, I'm down for tacos. Tacos are good.
Thavnarian tacos.
Oh God, if that ends up being a thing.
You heard it here first. Actually, you didn't. I think I stole that from Gathered Together.
Good.
I have one taco with me, and it is embroidered onto my hat.
The perma taco doesn't taste as good though.
No, it definitely would not taste as good because I wore
Not
this
at
hat
all.
hiking, and it probably tastes really bad.
And yes, Ravenheart, there's always room for tacos. Screw Jello. It's tacos.
I mean, I have like a second stomach for desserts, but now this is making me think, could you make a dessert taco?
Yes,
I mean,
it's called the Choco
but that's
Taco.
so not the same.
Yes, it is. It's a
Klauss, where can people find you on social media?
fuck social media. It is a curse, but I am on at PHXDN_KLAUSS on Twitter if you really want to follow me. But I recommend you go follow us at PHXDN Radio instead. A lot more fun, a lot more fun interactions with the community. But I want to shout out to Micro Center for having that laptop in stock and just being a bunch of really cool people. That place is amazing. I fucking love it. If you've never been to a Micro Center, if you have the opportunity to go there, it is like geek mecca. Just
Like
so,
Fry's used to be 20 years ago.
Oh,
Yes.
fries, how far you fell.
yes. So yeah, shout out to Micro Center for having awesome technology and for having a laptop. Shout out to you two for being here again, as always. Really appreciate all the help with the show notes this week and getting this episode together. And shout out to everybody listening to us here at twitch.tv/PhoenixStorm Radio, because you guys are the reason that we continue to do this like this and entertain you live for some reason, live, uncensored, and unscripted for the most part.
And demonetized.
All the time.
Live from Eorzea, it's Phoenix Down Radio.
It is Saturday night, so though we got to be careful because Lorne Michaels don't come at us, please.
Lorne Michaels, we love you. There's some episodes that weren't great, but we love you.
That's
All
fair.
right. Again, you can find me at PHXDN_KLAUSS. So, for my co-host, Seyrr Timono, for Taliz Marvelous, I am Klauss Nightbringer. Wish everybody a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll catch you next one. Take care.
Phoenix Down Radio is a production of PhoenixDownRadio.com and Illusion Productions. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. In-game content for Phoenix Down Radio is the copyright of Square Enix. Opening music for Phoenix Down Radio is provided by Guilty Gear Rock You. Check out the Metal Chocobo theme cover and many other music videos at youtube.com/Guilty Gear Rock You. Closing music for this episode is provided by Guitar Wanker 90. Please check out their full version of Matoya's Cave and other rock video game covers at youtube.com/Guitar Wanker 90. The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of Phoenix Down Radio and its hosts and do not reflect the views of Square Enix.